So it's been about a week and a half into the 2XKO closed beta, and we just got the ranked mode added back in. I've been playing the last couple days, and I'm happy to report that first impressions for the most part have been some pretty big improvements over Alpha Lab 2. However, it does seem like there still is a few things that could use just a little bit of tuning up, and I figure it's worth talking a bit about both sides here. First and foremost, the good news is the game feels a lot more populated this time around, so that is a big one. Alpha Lab 2 had a lot of issues feeling pretty barren to the point of even being hard to find matches sometimes, and thankfully, so far that really hasn't been a problem at all. I've usually been entering into lobbies that have much more people in them this time around, and even if you do queue into matchmaking and don't have an immediate opponent around you, it pretty quickly will just match you with someone else from another lobby to get you going anyway. You still can't actually queue ranked from training mode, which I'm sure is definitely going to ruffle some feathers, but my queuing has legitimately been probably 5 to 10 seconds kind of on the high side to get a match going just about every single time. So personally, I haven't missed it as much as I may have thought, and if we can keep it this way, it might actually be okay in the long run, but we might just have to wait and see. Now, to jump even further into my experience on the actual matches, starting with placements. I know there was some sort of soft MMR that people were talking about that while you're playing even in casual matches you do accrue, and that does seem to be the case. So as I walked around my entry-level ranked lobbies, I checked other players' profiles and just kind of noticed that just about every single one of them was either Emerald or unranked, just like I was. So going in, I immediately was like, cool, it looks like I'm soft Emerald now, and if I win enough, I'll probably get placed somewhere around that area. That being said, I was fortunate enough to win all 5 of my placement matches and still got placed into Platinum, which wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but fair enough, start a little bit lower and let people climb, that kind of makes sense. So then I kept going and won another 5 games, and then another 5 games, and then another 5 games. I kept winning and ranking up pretty quickly until finally I did hit 20 wins in a row in ranked and then got rocked by this Alawi player. GG's to that particular person. But even after this loss, a lot of my matches were going pretty well, and it felt like, especially if I got more win streaks going, my rank would spike up pretty rapidly until finally I got to master rank and started leveling out with some more people that felt more like my skill level. And this is where things really got competitive and fun. Again, the queue for matches goes super quick. It was super easy to marathon a ton of games really fast with some solid players, and it certainly doesn't hurt that this is probably the best netcode any fighting game has ever had, so everything always felt buttery smooth with a couple exceptions here and there. And even still in master rank, I kept stealing wins and stealing wins, and eventually somehow etched myself into the pantheon of elite players that is the rank of Challenger. Which is pretty funny if you know the contrast that I got rocked in my placement matches for Alpha Lab 2 and got placed in Iron back then. So I guess I truly have come full circle to start from the bottom and climb all the way up to the top. Joking aside, I'm really not trying to ego stroke or show off here, because trust me, I am the first person who will tell you I am not a Challenger player or anywhere close to being a pro. In fact, it seems like this was happening quite a lot with other prominent FGC figures. There was sort of an obligatory I went on an X win streak and got Challenger post going on Twitter. And frankly, I personally got pretty lucky with it and probably fit more towards Master. Ranks do feel overall a little inflated for those mid to its slightly advanced level players like myself. It's a little bit bittersweet to kind of climb the ranks so quickly because it almost feels like the journey's already over. But really, this does feel sort of comparable to early Street Fighter 6, where a lot of folks just got Master really quickly, and it felt like the main impression was, for the hardcore scene, that is where the game starts. So, like, you get to the point where you're on that even keel with a lot of the other strong players, and there's still plenty of people who will absolutely rock you even in early Master rank at that time. Same thing was kind of true with Guilty Gear Strive and Celestial as well, up until the more recent rank system that they had for that game. It kind of also makes sense, if I'm honest, that they want to get the sharks out of the pool as quickly as possible and not have veterans beating up on newbies for very long, which kind of also makes me feel like we should get this more out of the way in placements if that's really what they want to do. 5 matches for placements didn't really feel like it was all that impactful, because I've seen plenty of people talking about like, oh, I lost all my placements and I still got placed pretty high, or I won all of my placement matches and it didn't really do anything, I still got placed in like gold or whatever it was, right? So personally, if you're asking me, I think that they should make it 10 matches mandatory, and really I think it should actually be 10 sets, like best 2 out of 3 sets, Because there's a lot of people that will one and done you and just kind of like dodge if they think that they've got a bad matchup. And I really don't think that you should be allowed to do that. I think it should be more true to your rank, and you shouldn't be able to like cherry pick what you do and do not want to play. So to me, it should be 10 actual sets. If I start in platinum and I win 3 games in a row, just start pairing me up in emerald at that point, you know? And then if I keep winning emerald matches from there and consistently get like 3 or 4 more in a row, start teetering me up to diamonds. And then if I'm still winning games, then maybe just start me off in diamond at that point. I think that's kind of the best case scenario for all players, really. Like seeing some of these pros run 25, 50, and even literally 100 win streaks beating up on new players could make for a really bad early impression for some of those people, and I don't want them to get super discouraged right out of the gate. I think the other thing is it would give more intermediate players that aren't pros a chance to get placed somewhat high, even if they have a bad first few matches, because 5 again is really not a good indicator of actual skill level. That's really not many matches at all. And again, I mean, I got placed in iron last time and had to bully a bunch of actual new players for hours to climb back out. And that's not really the best scenario that you want to be seeing in the initial like impressions of the game. Now, back on the flip side, I guess you could also make the argument for the opposite too. Make it hard to get the ranks, and you do have to do a little bit of climbing for a while, because again, it is a little bit strange to have already hit Challenger, or more likely I'll probably have fallen to Grandmaster by the time this video comes out. But even still, these are account-wide ranks. It's not like Street Fighter 6 where you could go get Master by learning other characters too. It's your account. Like your rank is your rank. It's across everything. It's across duos, all champions. It's all just one encompassed thing. It's kind of a weird in-between that I want to get pros out of those early ranks as soon as possible, but then maybe somebody like me, it actually needs to be slowed down a little bit so I don't get slingshot into what feels like a little bit too high of a rank for what I really am. It's a tough balancing act for sure, but they still have been fun, and personally I am overall happy with it. It's not perfect, and I'm certainly not trying to over criticize it. I do think that the ranked mode is solid overall. And in fact, maybe even controversially, I am somebody who still enjoys the avatar lobbies and really don't even mind having it be the ranked mode either. But I'm also genuinely curious to hear from you all and what your experiences have been for the ranked mode. It's also still very early on, so I expect things will be a little bit different for actual launch, and especially as people learn the game and get better at it overall, I think that'll sort of naturally even out some of the rank distributions as well. But to really circle back, I just want to say that ranked feels a lot better than it did before, to say the least. I think it's at a point where it can launch like this and still be a solid ranked system, comparable to early Street Fighter 6, and if they really want to shake it up, they could even add in like an MR system like Street Fighter to make things feel like you're paired more accurate to your skill level even in those later ranks, and that might just make it even better. But that's about all I've got. I'll probably be back with full opinions on the beta build itself sometime very soon. But for now, thanks so very much as always for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.